By the way, this is a heating pad because today is my day to bear the burden of the pain of the entire world, so I'm just gonna leave it on under my robe. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, What the Beck. Today we are making a present, and for some reason I decided to micro crochet it. And the story behind this is, okay, so Mother's Day is coming up, right? And my mom's birthday is also like right near Mother's Day, so it's always either on it or like right before it. She has requested my sibling and I to make her something small, simple, and or like a very useful item, because we have what we need basically. And she was just like, I just want something small, and then write me a really nice like card with it and let me know like what I've done right as a mom, which honestly she's done so much right as a mom. But yeah, so I basically had this idea where her favorite flower is a daisy, and she's always telling us that. Like, she even says like, when I die, make sure there's daisies on my casket. That's how much she likes daisies. So I wanted to do something with that, and I started having like ideas of like what could I make, and I had the idea to do a little bookmark with the like leafy string hanging off of it. But she reads audiobooks like me, so she doesn't usually use paper books. So I kind of threw that one out the window. I thought about making like a coaster, and I was like, that's kind of in line with what might work. And then she also mentioned that she would like to use whatever it is at work. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll make her a coaster for at work. I've also really wanted to try micro crochet again, and part of that reason is because I got a bunch of tiny crochet hooks, and this is not all of them, but I got a selection of really tiny crochet hooks from my Buy Nothing group, and I kind of want to play with them. And I'm a little nervous because I've been working on socks recently, and they have very small yarn, and that like knitting with it was hurting my fingers. But I have done micro crochet a very few times in the past, and I think that it's gonna be okay. So I'm going to do a test version first of the square I'm making, which, by the way, looks like this. It is called Flower Square Tutorial 6 Roman Edition, and it is by colorinCream.blogspot.com. So if you want to make this one, that's where it is. I'm going to actually start by practicing with regular yarn, and that's going to be like the coaster. And then we're gonna do the micro crochet version. So I have my daisy colors here, and then I'm really hoping I can get that final row with this one. There's actually an extra row that I'm not gonna do, at least not for the earrings, because I don't want them to be too big, but I'm hoping I can get one row out of this, and that will be big enough for a coaster. Okay, so to get started, the pattern recommends a 3.5 millimeter hook. I'm not using that with worsted weight yarn. I usually use a 5, and this is the main way that I work with cotton yarn, because again, it will hurt my hands if I use too small of a hook. So we're gonna start with this yellow, and again, this is a free pattern. You can find it on the blog of the person that designed it. And I'm just gonna do a little time lapse here.
But since this is getting hidden under a lining, it'll be fine. Herringbone stitches work really well around curves, so I'm taking full advantage of this stitch where it won't cause its problems. to date with what's coming up on this channel. And you don't even have to be a paying member to get a behind the scenes update that we release as every video.
Hello. Okay, so I have finished the square. I won yarn chicken, and whatever is left I'm gonna put onto my scrap ball, and that will be used in that series when I get another suggestion for what to do with my scrap ball. But it came out really good. I ended up doing half double crochets for the final round instead of double crochets. Originally I was just gonna do the one purple row, but I decided to do two because when it comes to having like a coaster, honestly I think that bigger is better because then you can use it for more things. Like this would have fit this if it was just the daisy, but because it is larger I can fit my big old Hello Kitty mug with my Hello Kitty spoon for my hot chocolate. So yeah, this one's done. I like how it came out. It looks really cute. Now I have to do the micro crochet version and hope that it doesn't hurt my hands. But I'm hopeful. I'm just gonna start off by doing some swatches. So I have these embroidery floss spools, I guess, and I'm not sure if I should use the entire width of the floss because the way embroidery floss works is there are 6 strands. See that? There's like 4 in one hand and 2 in the other. And usually when you're like actually doing embroidery, you would not use all 6 at once. But we're doing crochet, so I'm gonna pick a hook here. I'm gonna pick the one with the handle to start with and see what we can do. These are labeled in Chinese, so let me know what that says if you can read it. Camera doesn't want to focus, but basically there's like a slightly larger end and a slightly smaller end. I don't remember what kit this came with. I don't know that this one came in the set that I got from Buy Nothing, but you know, whatever. So I'm just gonna start with my regular slip knot, and I'm gonna bring you in closer so you can see what's going on. All right, hopefully this is easy enough to see. I'm gonna try my best to keep it in frame, but here we go, I guess. So I am grateful that we're not using a magic circle for this pattern because I feel like that would be way too fiddly. So far so good. We have our starting chains, and then the only thing I'm really worried about is like, because obviously I know this is gonna take patience, but it's like, am I gonna have a harder time weaving in ends if they're that tiny? Okay, let's see. So the other option I'm thinking is, instead of making the final row on the earrings like square it off, if I could maybe just do single crochets. That way it'll be like a circle with a daisy in it. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like these are already gonna turn out kind of big for earrings, but as long as they're not heavy, I think it'll be okay. I do like this like hook combination with the embroidery floss, but again, it's like so small. Like the yarn is like so tiny. Well, because it's not yarn, but I have sock yarns that are like literally slightly thicker than this, and my hands tend to hurt when using them. Oh, and I just remembered I have to do 2 of each of these pieces. I think I'm gonna do 1 fully, and then I might do the second one off camera. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 1 more. I'm glad I didn't do an extra. Sometimes when I do granny squares, I just like keep going, and then if I have to take some out, then I take some out, but not this time. Okay, so we have our first row done. Oh my gosh, it's So little. I think like even that would be a cute earring. Got that. Oh my goodness. So little tiny. You could literally do like nail art with them. We have the white for the daisy part. And I think I am gonna try to work over my tails as I go. Just cause like I don't wanna deal with more tails than I have to. And it's not like they're gonna see like a whole bunch of like wear and tear. They're literally just gonna dangle. So, okay. I'm not worried about like the ends popping out or anything. 1, 2, and 3. And then treble crochet, which I have been actually really starting to appreciate the treble crochet recently. Oh, okay. It's like just such tiny movements. Like chaining is fine because it's fairly simple, but when you get into like actually doing the stitches, that's where I'm like nervous that I'm gonna like split the thread. Like right there. Ah! And then I have to like either reorient myself or restart the stitch. Which I'm coming up on about 10 years of like crocheting, and my friend actually gave me the perfect description of like how much I crochet when they introduced me to someone, because the other person was like, oh hi, I'm like I sew things and like make cosplay and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I spend a lot of time like crocheting, and my friend was like, yeah, Beck crochets an autistic amount, and I think that fully encapsulates the level of commitment and practice that I have. It's just like any, whoops, wrong kind of stitch. Any waking moment that I have that I can be crocheting, I'm crocheting. Unless I'm knitting or sewing or doing one of 10 other crafts, but still. I'm a very crafty person. So, okay, I think for this little tiny flower, I'm not gonna cut the ends as I go just in case. But I will like stop working over them at some point. Like I've done like 3 stitches over that one at this point. So I think it'll be good to go if I just drop it behind there. I am very grateful that this has some sort of grip on it, because that makes it way easier to use. I tried to use this one when I lost my clover 5.0 millimeters. And this was not it. Like, this was as good as I could get it, and it was okay, but like, ugh. I don't like using the ones without grips. Alright, so I'm gonna stop going into the white one, and then technically this starting one is like fully secured, so I'm gonna let that one go back, and I'm gonna only work over this one now. Once I get to the next stitch, because this current one doesn't actually even involve that thread. I'm curious to know if any of you have tried micro crochet and what kind of projects you like to do. If you do, I know like the really tiny amigurumi are super like popular and they're very cute, but I feel like I don't know that I would like just attempt that randomly in my life. I might do a video on it if people actually seem interested in watching that, but I don't want to like make a tiny whale and then lose it, or like God forbid the cat eats it or something. But that would be an interesting piece to put in the fair. Okay, let's see. This is going to be difficult because it's a slip stitch and then go under the extra tail. I do think this is very cute though. For some reason people on Ravelry like to call things daisies that are clearly not, like a 5-petaled like peony looking thing. They just make it white and call it a daisy, and I'm like, that's not a daisy. I did see on, like, I think it was Instagram Reels, and it's been going on for a long time, and I think it's on TikTok too, but someone is making, like, a human-sized blanket out of micro-crocheted granny squares, and that is also an autistic level of interest in crochet. If they're actually going to finish it, and they've been going, like, full steam ahead at it for, like, a couple years now, I think. Which is commendable. I think that's awesome. All right, so I have 6 out of the 12 petals that I need. I'm gonna just keep on trucking. Do you guys watch stuff while you crochet? I feel like I'm always watching Rhett and Link, Dan and Phil, or Joe and Frank. That's like... Oh, and recently I've been rewatching Sweet Boys podcast with Garrett and Andrew. So I just find my little pair of men and just watch them be silly. I definitely think the move on these is going to be the single crochets around the edge with the purple. And funny enough, I actually have another thread that's like similar to the yarn I use. So like this has sparkles going through it. I have a metallic purple thread, so like that's gonna be super cool. It's really cute. Okay, I think I've worked over that one enough, so I'm gonna do the last 4 probably off camera, and then I'll come back to do the purple. Oh my gosh, if you thought losing your regular crochet hook was nerve-wracking, try losing something this tiny, especially if it was like the kind without the handle on it. That's gone immediately. Anyways, I finished going around and I didn't make any mistakes, so I went ahead and I made the second one, and now we get to do the fun sparkly part. I'm a little bit nervous about if I'll have enough to do this, but we're gonna try it. So I'm gonna start with just my slip knot, and then I'm gonna do single crochets around, and then I think I'm also going to try to incorporate a loop so that it'll be easier for me to attach the jewelry finding later. Ugh, metal thread is always so finicky. Hold on. I'm going to make sure they're all aligned and everyone wants to behave. I'm going to start a little bit before this thread is popping out, because then I can work over this one and then stop by the time I get to this one, so it just won't be super thick. So I'm going to start in like this space here, and I'm going to do 3 singles in each one, I think, just to keep it about consistent with how the pattern is actually written. You would normally just do 3 doubles or half doubles in each one. There's 2. Here's 3. Ugh, this stuff is like so, it's not necessarily harder to work with, but it, like, the texture of it is like bleh. I'm like, glad I'm not making something that's like going close to the skin with this metallic thread. Like, doesn't that look so cool? And it's definitely very girly pop, very like fancy, which my mom is a very fancy lady. Here we go. Okay, so now that I've like worked over the purple, I can like stop working over that and work over this one instead, and then I'll only have one end to weave in at the end, and it'll be the final purple one. Do you have any plans for Mother's Day? Are you doing something special with your family or for yourself? Because I know a lot of people that are mothers need some time off. See if someone can watch your kids and you can like go do something fun that you want to do. I think we are going to do a brunch or something. I'm not exactly sure what the whole plan is. But we were going to like travel somewhere, but then I'm actually out of town on Mother's Day because I have a silly furry convention to go to and a silly work convention to go to right before it. which actually this time I think the work convention is the one that is during Mother's Day, so that looks really cute. Oh my gosh. Now I'm thinking, like, should I get some cotton yarn that's like really thick and just make coasters that are just these, because that's so cute. That's an idea. I've been making a lot of coasters recently because I made some out of my scraps just to use them up, and then my sibling came over and was like, hey, if you made those in pastel colors and then paired it with a black one with eyes, it would be like soot sprites. So I was making like scalloped coasters, and those are really fun. I might have some of those up in my shop soon. By the way, for those interested in teddy stickers, they are ordered and they are on their way. I got them in before the T-Riffs hit, so I guess I'm not ordering many more stickers until stuff settles, but for now, they are ordered and should be getting them in a couple weeks or 1 week. I don't remember exactly how soon they're supposed to be. Okay, so I'm gonna like join this with a slip stitch and then do a little loop, which I'm probably just gonna like chain 3 and then let's chain 4 and then go back into the same space. And then before I cut this, I'm just gonna double check that I have enough left on the spool. Ooh, I'm not sure. We'll have to try it out. I think in this case, I may be not gonna do the loop just to save that little bit of extra thread. And I'll just have to be extra careful when putting my findings on, but I should be able to sew that in pretty easily with my darning needle. And then there's the back with all that stuff on it. Isn't that cute? This is about maybe a little smaller than 2 inches. I definitely could have gone even smaller, but I just not today. Maybe I'll go smaller again later. I actually have some really tiny crochet thread that I can use, but not for this particular project when I had certain colors in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other one, and then we'll go ahead and put the findings on here. Your Honor, I fear I ate and left no crumbs. There was literally the perfect amount, and if I hadn't not chained on this one, I wouldn't have had enough for this one. So that is another item of craft stuff used up from my stash. So yippee! So let me put the findings on this. I'm gonna relocate to the desk. Okay, so I'm gonna start by just cutting off everything except for the final tail, which I will sew in probably after they're attached to the earrings. But because I worked over the tails, I know that they're going to be secure and I don't have to worry about them coming out. So there's the first one. I don't know where the heck my like darning needles went. I obviously have like 100 of them because I make things with yarn, but I don't know where any of them are. So if any of you know, tell me, because I want to sew in the ends on these. So you can do this really easily with any charm or like crochet piece. Like I've made heart earrings before, and I think I've also done little like fruits or something. I don't remember exactly, but basically all you really need to do is get 2 pairs of pliers, some jump rings, and earring findings. And you basically just open up one of the jump rings like so. Yep. You want to slide sideways, not upways, and then you just put your piece on here. Now I'm going to try to get it in the center of the 3. Yep. And then pay attention to which way your hook is facing, because obviously if it's going into your ear a certain way, a certain side will want to be out. So I'm going to put that on there and then close it back up. And now we have an earring. And I'm going to make a point to put the other one on the opposite way. That way they can both have the right sides like facing out on either side of her head. So again, I'm just comparing, like this one faces to the right. So I'm going to put this one on facing the other way. Close that up. And it's literally that easy. So when you go to Michael's and they have charms on sale and you think those would be cute earrings, just get them. And the pack of like earring backs and jump rings will last you a pretty long time. So that's the earrings, and it's our matching coaster. And I'm gonna weave in the ends off camera because again, I have no clue where my needles are. I need to find them. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've tried micro crochet before, what you like to make with it. Please check out my shop in the description if you are in need of any cute crocheted goods such as plushies and wearable cardigans and stuff like that. And leave me an idea in the comment below for other videos you want to see me make. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!